Subsequently, when he went to Wynn Resorts, it became a bigger issue. We were dealing with all the issues associated with the Las Vegas Strip and the Valley in general. And fortunately, he had an advocate, and that was the CEO, Craig Billings. So Craig, thank you very much. So Craig, as CEOs do, he delegated and told Todd to get it done. But when we think about getting it done, it requires a partnership, it requires leadership, and it requires money. And where we have experienced history in government, we do not get a lot done when government stands on its own. We know the issues, the problems, but resources is always an issue in government process. So how do we fix this? Public-private partnership. That's how they did it in San Antonio. That's exactly how they accomplished it in San Antonio. So Craig says, well, why can't we do that? And then you heard the number associated with it, right? So we're like, all right, well, we're still swimming upstream, but we're going to get it done. And in short order, with everybody's help in this community and the knowledge of the need of what this will help us with within our community, it was a force multiplier. So it got done. It got done, and now we're here today. This is the perfect partnership of what exactly we're trying to achieve in the state of Nevada. And so it brings us all together, and we get to shovel this dirt, and then Mr. John Fish, he's gonna build the project in the campus, and then we're gonna have significant resources for the people in our community that are suffering the most. This way we do not cast them away, we give them solutions to the problems, and we have the ability to do it at a larger level. Unfortunately, we have naysayers, correct? And you saw them when we came in, but I think that is a problem of lack of education. And I don't mean that to be derogatory. It's awareness. Exactly what we're trying to accomplish here. We're building on what is existing here, and we're going to continue to move it forward, and the entire state is going to be better for it. Because one thing they do in government, they always pony off success, right? You see success somewhere else, the legislature's famous for it, right? Well, this is the way they do it in Minnesota. But but success breeds success. And today we stand here before you as an example of success. And as my role as governor, I think it's important for me to recognize people that are influential in the process. People that work behind the scenes quite often and don't get the recognition, even though they provide a yeoman's piece of all the work that this success brings forward. So if you bear with me, and I'd like to take the opportunity to do that, and I think they just fully deserve it. So first and foremost, Virginia Valentine. Where are you at, Virginia? Right there. So Virginia represents, obviously, the Nevada Resort Association, and she had the hard work of herding the cats and telling them, this is what we need to do as a community. And subsequently, with the help of Craig, they were able to accomplish what was needed to fund this project and to continue to support it moving into the future. Eric Hansen. So Eric's with Wynn Resorts, and I think he's Todd's boss. Is he your boss, Todd? Well, when he introduced himself to me, he said that. But Eric provided that direction and kept, I have a long history of Todd, and that's why I continue to bring him up, but he tends to run in circles. And so Eric provides that complete direction to get the job done. So he'll probably call me later about it. But and then a very, 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 very close friend of mine and co-worker and professional, Jeremy Aguayo. Jeremy. So for those of you who may not know, I guarantee you everybody in this audience knows, Jeremy He's the numbers guy, right? He's the one that makes sense for you. But he's also the guy who will say, no, you're going down the wrong path. And Jeremy, I appreciate everything you've done on this project and everything you've done for me and everything we do as a community. So thank you, Jeremy. I also want to recognize Assemblyman Speaker Steve Yeager. Steve. And, you know, I said this at the last time we had the opportunity. I think it was the groundbreaking for the A's, right? And people immediately assumed that him and I do not get along. But we do. We get along greatly. We communicate greatly, no matter what the naysayers want to say. And as a result of his efforts, I'm here to tell you, as a result of his efforts and the people that work with him, the other legislators here in the room, is the reason why it made it through the legislature. And we had a significant portion of this process and partnership in this process, and convincing people to spend the money where it's needed as associated, whatever their pet projects are, is very important to develop that focus. And Steve has a unique ability to do that. And Steve, I have to thank you for being my partner. So thank you. And then a couple folks in state government that were influential in this is Director Richard Whitley. Is Richard here today, Jack? No? Jack can't hear me. Is he here today? So Richard Whitley, he's my Director of Health Services, very influential in the data and the science and everything else with this campus to assist us in getting this done. And then person I consider a good friend also and a consummate professional is Director Tom Burns with the Governor's Office of Economic Development. So thank you, Tom. And then another person close to me, I have a lot of people close to me, but here's an individual that loves to stay in the background and it loves to get stuff done. And that's one of my directors, Jack Robb. So Jack is very influential in everything state government, everything Nevada State. And those are the people in here that need facilities and resources and supplies to get stuff done. He's the go-to guy. And as a result, he's become very gray. And so, and sitting next to Jack is his assistant, actually Director of Operations within my office, is Tawny Polito. So, I know I'm going way past time, but you'll get over it. So and then I mentioned Kim. Obviously, you're going to get the opportunity to introduce yourself and talk about the project in itself. But thank you, Tim. I said Tim, Kim. Thank you, Kim, for making the leap. It's a big leap, and I know you're up for it. And my initial meetings with you have been very comforting, would be the word I would use, because I know you're going to get it done. So thank you, Kim. So I leave you with that. I leave you with Nevada leading the way. And I want this to continue to be an example of exactly what we're trying to achieve in our great state, and an example of the partnership that is going to continue to develop and get bigger and larger as we get through the future. So thank you, everybody. God bless you.
Thank you, Governor. Well, we'd like to bring somebody up that he had put a nod to his head to, somebody who made a significant contribution for us to be here today. Please help me welcome the Speaker of the Assembly, Mr. Steve Yeager.
Thank you for that introduction, Brian, and I want to thank you to everyone here who has joined us this morning. It is great to be here with so many current friends and so many future friends. This truly is a momentous occasion. You know, I've had the privilege of serving in the Nevada legislature since 2016, and I've been honored to work on and pass a lot of meaningful legislation over the years. But this project that brings us here today, the Campus for Hope, has the potential to have the greatest and longest lasting impact of them all. I am honored to have worked alongside so many of you to help us get here today. Some of you may know that prior to running for office, I was a public defender here in Clark County for many years, helping the indigent in our community with their legal issues. I saw firsthand the many and complex challenges faced by the most vulnerable among us. As a community, we simply did not have enough resources or enough of a safety net for those who needed it most. I represented many people struggling with homelessness and all the attendant challenges that come with not having a place to call your own. It was always a daunting task to figure out how to help them get back on their feet. Now, at the Public Defender's Office, we had excellent social workers, but there was never enough capacity in the community to help everyone, and there were too many places you had to call to see what resources might be available. What we lacked back then was a one-stop shop, a no wrong door approach. It was frustrating, to say the least. And most importantly, we didn't do a good job of helping those who needed help the most. And sometimes you only get one chance to help somebody. Once I was elected to the Assembly, I became intimately acquainted with the complexities of solving problems in this area. My constituents would voice their frustrations. Those needing help would voice their frustrations. And there was always finger pointing in terms of whose responsibility was it? Was it the state? Was it the county? Was it the city? Was it the private sector? Well, I'm here to tell you that we are all our brother's keepers. And this project in particular recognizes that the responsibility lies with the state, the county, the city, and the private sector. And that buy-in from everybody, that desire to meet the challenge head on, is the only reason we are all here today. Now, I was certainly honored to sponsor legislation that brings us here this morning, but sponsoring legislation does not mean passing legislation. So please allow me just a few moments to recognize and appreciate the many other folks who helped make this happen. First, my legislative colleagues, many of whom are here today, who understood and appreciated the vision. Second, Governor Lombardo, who certainly understood and appreciated the challenges from his time as a police officer and as the sheriff, and he was a steadfast supporter from day one. Without that support, we would not be here this morning. To the counties and the cities who don't always get along, but were able to put aside minor differences for the greater good. And to the business community, and particularly the resorts, who did so much of the groundwork and relentless problem solving, and they put their money where their mouth is, and a lot of it at that. Without all of these folks, we would not be here this morning. I want to personally thank Billy Vasiliadis and Jeremy Aguero, who have helped me along in this process, always keeping me updated and ensuring that I had all of the information I needed to make the case for this transformational project. I'm proud to be a part of it, and I look forward to what is to come. And let me be clear about one last thing. Governor Lombardo touched on this. This will be a project that the entire community will be proud of. This will be a model for other communities who also want to overcome their challenges. We are so fortunate to have as our CEO, Kim Jeffries, who made the Haven for Hope in San Antonio what it is today. Now, she will lead the Campus for Hope to great heights. And this place where we are standing now, will be a beacon of hope for those who want it and need it. I could not be more optimistic for the future. I want to thank all of you in this room for allowing me to be a small part of it. And with that, I would like to ask all of you to help me welcome to the stage another person who has been there every step of the way in making this project a reality, and that is Clark County Manager Kevin Schiller.
Good morning. I want to take an approach and bring this down to people. Everybody in this room has somebody they've experienced. It's whether they're family, it's whether an associate, mental health, substance abuse. It's about people. My background is in social services. That's where I started. So I'm going to quote Governor Lombardo. When I became county manager, I was at Yolanda King's retirement party, and he kind of said to me, "Do you know what you're in for?" I didn't. But what I will tell you is Yolanda brought me here about 8 years ago to work on human services. And one of the key pieces to this, and I think I really want to recognize it, the jurisdictions, the resorts, the governor, the state, I don't know people truly understand, living in this world for 30 years, the complexity of getting something across the line with all of those stakeholders. And why are we doing it? We're doing it for people. We're doing it for people that need help. And what's so important to me to recognize is even where I'm standing today, Councilman Knutson, Commissioner Jones, I believe we walked this facility about 6 or 7 years ago with this vision and where we were going to go. And recognizing all of that, first, for their efforts is so critical to me, but remembering the mission. The mission is about people. The mission is about change. And from a systems perspective, to give a little insight into that, I talked about the bureaucracy and the difficulty in that, so we need to give ourselves a hand. But the second part of that is this represents a critical step in our system of care. The system of care. I think Jeremy and I were on 6 a.m. calls, 3 years ago, on a system of care. But the translation to that is where you enter the system and how you go up and down a stair step is the critical component, and this is a critical resource to meet that need. And this community, it's a community solution. And when I say community solution, let me give examples. If I go to the city of Las Vegas, I have the courtyard. Those are efforts. Those are significant resources. North Las Vegas had our first non-congregate care site. We now have 9. We are serving kids, we are serving families, we are serving seniors. We have increased, with the assistance of the state and Yudas Nadaros, how to increase nursing home to bring people to independence. People come in all stages. So it's a critical solution. I can't say enough. This is what I care about. When I come to the county, and I feel more like a CFO most of the time, it is about money, because you need money, but it's about people. And this picture to me represents something that I really can't put into words. And what I want to say to the people that are out there, this campus, you go back to the 60s, it's been serving vulnerable adults historically, right? We're just modernizing and it's evolving. But this is our community. We should be very proud. And I want to say to the clients, the people that are out there, help is here, come as you are. That is what we are about. And we all deserve a collective hand of applause, because we're going to keep going. People are closing things and we're opening things. That's a big deal. With that, I want to introduce Councilman Knutson to the stage.
What an honor it is to be here, and I'm going to invite Councilman Barone to come on up with me, because I'm going to forget at the end. So come on up. Cities actually do get along, and this is one area that we all agree that our community deserves to treat other people better. And I have the really distinct honor privilege of representing this area at a local level. I represent the folks that are protesting out there, and I will fiercely represent them. And the folks that end up calling Campus of Hope home, I will fiercely represent them as well. We all have played a major role in bringing this to life, but for those who have been more intimately involved, that technical committee, can you please stand up? It hasn't been one person, it hasn't been a group of people, it has been multiple governments, this has been people. People in our community have been talking about this for a couple of years now. They saw what was happening in San Antonio, and they knew we could do even better here in Las Vegas, and they've been putting in the groundwork to make sure it became a reality. With the private sector support, with leadership from our governor, from our legislature, from the county and the municipalities, we have finally a solution for people who desperately need it. And like I said, I will be fiercely supportive of the people that live here, the neighborhoods that surround this area, and I know this will be the best thing that Las Vegas can provide and an example for the rest of the country. So grateful to be here, and so grateful that you all took your time out on a July morning in a wonderful tent to make sure that this gets off on the right foot. Councilman Barone.
Thanks, Councilman. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Isaac Barone, Councilman Ward 1 in the city of North Vegas. Mayor couldn't be here, it's vacation time, right? So they asked me to step in. I serve with the councilman on the RTC and the flood control district, along with other commissioners, right? And let me tell you, I'm really happy to say that your local governments here work pretty well together. They've come together in the past to address flooding, to address, transportation issues. It's only natural for us to come together with our business community to solve this issue that's affecting everybody. Actually, I share a few things in common with several people here, including the governor. We both went to Rancho High School, a little bit different classes. Actually, I live just a couple of blocks away from there, and if you don't know, since 2013, I was doing double duty, teaching full-time at Rancho High School, and coaching and advising, but I was a full-time teacher. And I can tell you that being a teacher on a school that's at the very, on that corridor of hope, you were confronted with these realities every day. Having kids who, you knew there was something wrong with them. They didn't want to tell you, but then when you have a chance to talk to them, maybe refer them to one of our social workers, you find out that they had recently been evicted from their home and they had nowhere to go. Or we had new kids who came into the valley, and where do they head? Right to Rancho High School. That is square one. It is point zero. And what do you do with them? Sometimes they're entire families that are needy. I'm really happy to hear. I'm really heartened. And just as a person who lives in the community here, I'm really heartened to see that the community is coming together. Again, our business leaders, the different municipalities, the state government, we'll probably get some federal money out of this thing too, right? Everyone's going to come together to bring hope to the people that we serve. This is probably one of the most noble things I've ever been connected with, even if it's just, for me, just a little tiny part, but I'm really proud of it. I've got some prepared statements. I'm going to read those, but people who know me, they know I go off script all the time. Believe me, I've always got something to say. Here's my official words, though. Homelessness is an issue that doesn't stop at any city or jurisdictional line. Campus for Hope is a shared solution that will require collaboration across all levels of private and government partners. The city of North Las Vegas is enthusiastic to support this critical initiative. We're committed to working collaboratively with the business community, the state, the county, our surrounding municipalities, and other key stakeholders to support success. God bless our community, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councilman. As you can see, something that's very apparent this morning, obviously, there is so much support and involvement on every level of our state government. But at this time, let's go ahead and talk to and find out who will be building this incredible campus for us. Please help me welcome the Suffolk Chairman and CEO, Mr. John Fish.
Good morning. I'm absolutely honored and privileged to be with you today. I want to begin to express my gratitude to Governor Lombardo. And Governor, I want to thank you and your family for your service to our country. Kim Jeffries, esteemed board members of Campus for Hope, and their leadership and guidance, and the unwavering support which we've heard here today, and generosity and dedication from the donors and the gaming community to make this day possible, and the Las Vegas community for their support. When I first learned about the Campus for Hope from Jackie Crum and Craig Billings, I immediately envisioned how we could play a role in this incredibly important endeavor. Because when you're fortunate enough to be in a position to make an ambitious vision a reality, you say yes. We know this initiative aligns with our core values. We are honored to engage with the heart and soul of a community that cares. We are proud and humbled to be a member, Kim, of this team. This is an extremely important moment for the Suffolk family and my family personally. To be able to create something will transform so many lives. I often say, to whom much is given, much is expected. This core belief guides our work, and it is why we're so proud to stand alongside partners and community leaders who have made this possible. We understand this project is much more than concrete and steel. This project is about caring, empathy, and most importantly, dignity for others. This project is about people helping people when they need it most. This project is about fostering a community where individuals and families have an opportunity to do more than just survive, but thrive. This project is about giving back because we can. Thank you for allowing us this opportunity to create this symbol of hope for the Las Vegas community. We will forever be grateful for your trust in our firm in this project. As you know, pictures speak 1,000 words. Videos can say 1,000,000. Now I'm pleased to introduce a brief video that will illustrate transformative impact that Campus for Hope will have on Las Vegas. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
I am a survivor of domestic violence.
I've been on my own since I was 17.
I was injured on the job.
My rent was going up faster than my income.
I was living in a tent, and I don't want to do that anymore.
People who are experiencing homelessness are in survival mode. They're literally living day to day, moment by moment. Campus for Hope will give them an opportunity and a safe place to land where they can exhale and have the opportunity to do all the things that they've been wanting to do to rebuild their lives.
The key to helping me get off the street was help and support. Having the support, that's part of that. Therapy, family, friends.
You do need support to get out of this type of life. Having a place like Campus for Hope would have helped me tremendously.
Campus for Hope is an innovative approach to addressing homelessness. It's really designed to get at the root cause so that individuals and families can rebuild their lives. Campus for Hope will create an ecosystem of support, combining healthcare, job training, education, and housing solutions. Anything that somebody might need will be right on our campus.
Transportation was a big issue for me. Having an agency or a building like this in one place, it'll make it much easier on the person who's looking to move forward.
Having someone help you build your resume and then also believe in you that you can, it makes a big difference.
Instead of having to go to a lot of different locations to get different services, I think that's a great idea.
When individuals come to Campus for Hope, they're at one of their lowest points in life. So we have the privilege and opportunity to meet them with acceptance and love and welcome them onto campus to show them what they can be and to reach their potential. Campus for Hope needs the whole community. We'll work with nonprofit partners that are already here, government entities, and everybody to ensure that the individuals we're serving have the resources they need to transform their lives.
You have to have some type of hope or have some type of understanding that there's people out there that can help you or willing to help you.
Hope gave me a reason to get up and try again another day, just to keep striving another day.
I'm pretty sure everybody on this podium today mentioned her name. San Antonio is probably upset that we got her, but we are very lucky to have her. Please help me welcome the CEO of Campus for Hope, Kim Jeffries.
Okay, when I say good morning, say it really loud so we can beat Governor Lombardo's response. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Kim Jeffries, and I have the privilege and honor of serving as the CEO for Campus for Hope. First, I too would be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to thank both Governor Lombardo and Speaker Yeager for their leadership these last 2 legislative sessions. It's really easy, yes. It's really easy for people who are elected into office to look at the complexity of this issue and the challenges that it presents and to look away. But these 2 gentlemen looked right at this issue and stepped fully into it with bold leadership. And thank you for that. We wouldn't be here today without your efforts. So again, on behalf of myself and the board and all the clients that will be served, we are forever grateful for your leadership. I also want to take a moment of privilege to thank a couple of gentlemen. I want to thank Eric Hansen, Jeremy Aguero, and Miles Dixon, who without their leadership and dedication, none of us, including me and mostly me, would be standing here today to mark this momentous occasion. They, with many of you here, scoured this country to find the most innovative and transformative models and found San Antonio to be a best in class to bring to the Las Vegas community. In my short time here, I've already learned what Craig mentioned, that Las Vegas has a way of reinventing itself in big ways, and Campus for Hope is no exception. The model from San Antonio will be reinvented and enhanced and bigger and better than ever in a way that only Vegas can. Campus for Hope is built on the vision that everyone deserves a place to call home and the opportunity to reach their full potential. By pairing transformative housing with wraparound comprehensive services on a single campus, we will address the underlying cause of an individual's homelessness so that they can rebuild their lives and seamlessly re-enter society. By creating that continuum of care to meet the individual needs of each person that steps foot on the campus, we meet clients where they're at and provide a trauma-informed environment that empowers them to transform their lives. As I said in the video, when individuals are experiencing homelessness, they're in survival mode, and it's really difficult for them to think about taking that next step to change their situation. They're thinking about where they're going to sleep that night, where they're going to get their next meal, how they're going to stay safe, living hour by hour, moment by moment. And in those dark moments, they begin to lose all sense of belonging. They literally belong nowhere. They begin to lose their sense of self-worth, and ultimately, they lose their purpose in life. But this is where Campus for Hope beautifully comes in. We give them that safe place to come, where their basic needs are met, but they're greeted with love and without judgment. They will be at a place where they finally belong. Campus for Hope will give them a chance to move out of survival mode and give them the time and space to start to hope for their future once again. And day by day, as they work to address their needs and build new skills, they will regain their self-worth and their purpose in this world. And they'll leave campus knowing that they will never have to return. I can say all this with confidence because I've seen it work. It worked in a city where per capita homelessness is down 30% 15 years later because of the campus model. And where 87% of clients who addressed the underlying cause of their homelessness are not just housed for a moment, but are still stably housed a decade later. The model on which Campus for Hope will build its foundation works for communities, and more importantly, works for the individuals and families. I promise you, you will get to see that firsthand once Campus for Hope opens our doors. Campus for Hope will also work to improve our local homeless response system by increasing coordination and capacity to serve 900 people each and every day who are experiencing homelessness. We will serve clients like the veteran who was deployed 3 times and found himself struggling to reintegrate into a society that had no idea what he sacrificed and turned to alcohol to try to quiet the noise. We'll serve the single mother who got sick and lost her hourly job, and then even though she got right back to work, was too far behind on her bills and chose to feed her children instead of paying rent. We'll serve the grandmother who's caring for her adult grandchild with autism, who had to become a mom again after her daughter passed away. We'll serve the 18-year-old who aged out of foster care with no one to take him in, no support network, and no idea how to make it in this world. We'll serve the woman who finally got the courage in the middle of the night to flee domestic violence and left with just the clothes on her back. And we'll serve the man who had a stroke and could no longer work, losing his house as a result. These are the true faces of homelessness. These are the true stories of clients I have had the profound honor and privilege to support on their journey through the campus model. But rather than you hearing what this model can do from someone like me who experienced it from the outside looking in, I have the extreme privilege to introduce our next speaker, who will give you a glimpse of what this model can do from the inside looking out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce you to a colleague, an incredible human, and somebody I call a dear friend. Please help me welcome Mr. Ben Brooks Jr. to the podium.
Good morning, Las Vegas. I am honored and privileged to be able to speak on behalf of Campus for Hope. In San Antonio, I run a nonprofit organization called Pay It Forward San Antonio, where we help individuals who are experiencing homelessness and substance use disorder to find the tools and the resources they need in order to get their lives back. Our organization has 88 beds on the Haven for Hope campus. So I work very closely with individuals who are not sure what to do next. And so this is the reason why Campus for Hope, I believe, is going to be so critical in this community. I myself have been working for my organization for the last 7 years. Well, prior to 9 years ago, when I decided to get help from alcoholism and drug addiction, I went to Haven for Hope in order to figure out how to change my life. Near-death experiences, homelessness, not having any real understanding of where to go. It was Haven for Hope that connected me to everything that I needed in order to get my life back together. They encouraged me enough to figure out what change looked like on a small level and then work towards growing that into a greater opportunity. They encouraged me to go to school, get counseling, find a job, and there were people along the way that helped me to get there. This is why I know that Campus for Hope is going to be such an amazing opportunity for individuals who are experiencing homelessness, because we may not necessarily know exactly what a person needs. But if there's someone there who can walk alongside them, right? Someone who is right there, not maybe across town or down the street or 10 blocks away, someone who is right there with them to help them to find exactly what they need, give them the love, the encouragement, and the support they need in order to become the best versions of themselves. It's organizations like this that really create change the community, and help individuals to find exactly what they need. I am extremely honored again to be able to stand here and tell you the model that Campus for Hope will be built upon, the foundation, saved my life. And so now I have a passion to go back and give to others along this same way. And so I'm excited to see what this looks like going forward, and thank y'all for letting me share.
As you just heard, the impact of providing these comprehensive services in a singular location is really life-changing. And you all are and will be a part of the life-changing work of Campus for Hope. There's a famous saying that I'm going to take some liberties with because I think it's fitting for today. And it's, a man or woman never stands as tall as when they kneel to help someone in need. Each of you today in this tent is standing tall alongside Campus for Hope as we kneel to help our fellow Nevadans in need. And we couldn't do it without your support. We will collectively create a brighter community filled with hope and promise for everyone. Thank you for your support and for joining us in this beautiful celebration today. We look forward to seeing you all in 2028 at our ribbon cutting. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Well, friends, thank you so much for joining us. Have an incredible day. And again, like Kim said, we hope to see you all in 2028 back here for the ribbon cutting. Thank you so much. If I could have all my speakers up to the front, please. My speakers plus Thomas Burns, Nicole Cannizzaro, Virginia Valentine, and Andrew Walsh. Again, all my speakers plus Thomas Burns, Nicole Cannizzaro, Virginia Valentine, and Andrew Walsh, please, for photos. If I could have over here to stage left.